This is the Front Stretch on AM 590, brought to you by Joe's Karting, online at joeskarting.com.
Well, we're getting a signal of 1 to go. That means we're into Turn 4, salvaged by Kaziski Auto Parts. Looking for quality used parts? Get your car or truck back on the road. You got to give an experienced salesperson at Kaziski Auto Parts a call today. Help them find you the right part for your car to get you back in running condition at a low price. Call Andrew or any one of the salespeople today at 731-4592. You can also stop by at 50th and I Street. And here's a little bit of a tip. Bud learned the wrong way. Do not call Kaziski Auto Parts a junkyard, because they are not. They are a salvage yard. They take high-quality, perfectly good parts and sell them back to the public at a discounted rate.
And the junk, they send it away.
And they send it to an actual junkyard. So apologize right now, bud.
I'm sorry.
Call it junk, get junk.
That's exactly the... I thought we were going to have a downright brawl up in here. Andrew got pretty upset pretty quickly. But, Andrew, we are talking to you this turn about how the point standings are laying out for several tracks. So we're going to talk about that. The first track you got tonight for us is?
Well, the first of the 5 is going to be Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. They run 5 classes out there. I'm just going to kind of do the top 3 in each class, and you guys are going to, of course, help with each track you guys go to. The B-Mods. Third in points is Jared Weston. Second's Blaine Peterson. And Jeff Jones is your leader right now in the B-Mods. He has 3 wins. He is dominating the class out there right now.
That Jared Weston, is he out of Red Oak, Iowa?
He is.
I used to go to school with him.
Yes, sir. In the hobby stocks, third is Matt McAtee. Jeremy Auden is second, and Rick Ritchie is leading the points right now. Auden and Ritchie and McAtee, all 3 of them have each won a race and has been close in each and every single race out there. It's actually been probably the best show out of all the classes out there at Corning. Pro stocks, Brad Deary, probably the most dominant car out of all of them, but out at Eagle this year, Jason Rold, who's second in points, has won 3 shows, and the leader, Craig Gardner, has won 2. Modifieds, third in points, Brian Foote, pretty popular name actually in the sport, been around a long time. John Davis second, and Jared Steins has won all 4 features out there. 4 out of the 5 features out there. And then their premier class, the late models, Chris Speaker's third, Paul Glendenning second, and J.C. Wyman is leading the points. And Speaker and Glendenning second and third have not won a race yet, and Wyman's only won 1. So it's a pretty tight race out there between every single class right now.
All right, with Eagle Raceway in the sprint cars, top 3, Doug Lovegrove out of Waverly, Nebraska, followed by Mike Boston, with Trevor Grossenbacher being your points leader right now. There's about an 8-point, 8 or 9 point lead with Grossenbacher over Boston. Mike Boston looking pretty good. Grossenbacher having a stellar season so far. Had a little snafu last week at I-80 Speedway, but he came back, ran real good at Saturday night at Eagle. In the hobby stocks, top 3, Bill Wohler out of Sioux City, Nebraska, followed by Roy Armstrong in that second spot. And your current points leader, Mike Hansen. Roy Armstrong came out of the C, dominated the B feature, came through the A, and finished 7th. Having a great year so far for him. And the modifieds, and these guys have all ran against Porky Scott Carlson a time or 2. Third place in points, Johnny Sadoff, 4-time national champion, followed by Justin Wolf. One of Justin Wolf and his family, great people, good guys, sitting in that second spot. And your current points leader in the modifieds, Bob Zubek. Bob Zubak, nice guy, great driver. It's like a really, almost an identical version of Scott Carlson. Really smooth, but knows how to get aggressive when he needs to. In the sport compacts, top 3, Kevin Fearing out of Lincoln, Nebraska, followed by Kyle Gannon, that 66G out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Your current points leader, Nick Lindblad. And if I remember right, I think Nick Lindblad was one of the top 5 in the nation last year in the sport compacts. Each one of those young gentlemen having a great year. In the sport mods, at Eagle, the sport mods are getting ridiculous. There's about 50 or 60 of us, but I tell you what, the racing is tough and hard. Number 3 out of Sioux City, Nebraska, the Jeff Olson. Neat thing about Jeff Olson, he was scouted by Nationwide Series, I believe it was. Number 2, the 2-time current champion, Gary Sadoff, is sitting second. And current points leader, Matt Richards, coming down from the A mods to the sport mods and totally dominating us this year at Eagle, running really good, super nice guy who won a couple hard chargers. That would be your top 3 in each class from Eagle Raceway.
And I want to remind everybody, this is points as of May 25th.
Absolutely.
Because there is still racing that happened Friday night, but as some of you have already picked up on, we do record the show on Wednesday nights. This is the best we're able to do. I apologize if we're a little bit behind. Obviously, some of these guys are going to run this weekend, but as of May 25th, this is where your point standings sit for a lot of these tracks. Scott, you got one for us?
I've got I-80 Speedway. In the Hornet class, Dave Christensen, been running in that class for a while, is a third place so far. Tammy Clark, who just won a feature here in the last couple of weeks, is in second. And the points leader is Jamie Spannel out of Omaha. The Grand Nationals looks like a pretty close battle between a number of different people. Third place is Todd Hipner, 2 points behind the leader. The second place is Micah Brown, and the points leader is Jacob Brown. It's a real tight battle there. Sport Mods, Cody Olson is in third. Second right now is Dennis Cook from Council Bluffs. This guy here, nobody's ever heard of him. It's Jesse Sobbing.
Jesse who?
He might accidentally lead the points for another couple weeks.
Jesse Sobbing is the only one that makes Bud's girlfriend, Danica Patrick, jealous.
Yeah, Jesse drives like a girl.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying because Jesse's a good driver. It's because that's the only person Bud talks about more than Danica.
Yeah.
Bud's that way, though.
He is. He loves himself some Jesse Sobbing. I can't wait to have Jesse on the show. We're going to get him on the next couple of weeks, but I can't wait to have him on. We're going to have so much fun with you.
Oh, yeah.
The Pro-Am class is always pretty competitive. Looks like Chad Sanders is third so far with Rick Negretti.
Dude, what?
Chad, yeah. Rick Negretti is in second place so far with Brad Derry leading the points. Brad, I think he's won a couple points championships out there. He goes pretty good. The A-Mods, it's a real tough class. We just watched an awesome race the other night out there at I-80. From Sioux City, Jimmy Cole is he's won points championships at Park Jefferson, and he's a good driver. Jesse Dennis from Prescott, Iowa, has a body shop in Corning, and he's going pretty good in second place. And then Dylan Smith is leading the points there.
He's actually a former IMCA points champion on the national level, I believe.
Dylan Smith.
That was Dylan Smith?
Okay. Dylan Smith. The Osceola Rocket.
Good for him.
Yeah, he goes pretty good. A good fella, too. The super late models, Jason O'Brien from Atlantic. I saw him win a feature early in the year. Goes pretty good. Is in third. Second place is Kyle Burke. Some people might have heard of him before. And Travis Dickus is leading the points. Looks like that's going to be a tough battle the whole season.
How far down on that list is Andrew?
You have to turn a wholly separate page to get to me right now. But so
Andrew, let's see here. Andrew would be 14th in the B mod class with that point total.
Well, that's not not bad.
Now.
it happens, okay? You know, we all have our bad seasons.
You know what? He's 22 positions higher than I am right now. But that's all right. It looks like it's fun.
Well, I've got Crawford County Speedway in Denison. We're going to start off with the Sport Compacts. Deb Brock, who's got a good run going for her this year, sits in third. Tom Summerfield won a race earlier in the season. I believe it was the first or second week of the season. He's sitting in second. And then Alex Davis is your point leader in that 121 car. Those guys, I kind of make fun of them a little bit because they're slower than what you typically have. But those guys, those three drivers,
they're probably faster than your Ford Ranger.
Definitely faster. We've talked about this. Two cylinders, downhill in the wind. I can beat them.
Was that the Blue Ranger in the parking lot?
No.
My bad, man.
I
thought it was Rick Negretti's truck.
I haven't got my insurance switched over yet. That may be coming out of pocket.
Yeah.
Would Negretti fit in that truck?
That's okay. My name is Joe Kaziski. If you want to sue me. Yeah.
In your hobby stock division of Crawford County, Willie Ransom in the 7W car sitting in third. Justin Nearing is in second place, just 5 points behind the leader, Donnie Gustoff. So good battle there for the hobby stock division.
Willie Ransom, hell of a nice kid, runs a 7W out of Shelby County and Crawford County. Great to see that kid having a top three so far in the points. I don't think I've ever seen him that high. Hope he can come back and maybe win the championship.
Sport Mods, this is a really close battle. Tara Longnecker is sitting in third place. She's 12 points behind tied leaders Logan and Keegan Scott. I love talking to these guys. I believe it's their second year running a Sport Mod, and obviously brothers. I believe they're twins, and those guys are constantly fighting each other for the lead.
Absolutely,
and it's a great battle, and I would love to hear some of the conversations after the race because those guys, obviously being brothers, they drive each other very clean, and they put on a heck of a show. For your stock car division, one problem I have as an announcer up in the booth is that this last name, I've been told 4 different ways to say it, and I'm going to say it wrong, so Bud, feel free to correct me. 9 points behind, tied for second, Adam Clucky.
I believe that's right.
Clucky, okay. And Chris Ulrich and the 01U current leader in the points, Donovan Smith. So Chris Ulrich should very well be the leader, but because he just got stuck with some sticky rules, he's sitting in second place. I don't expect him to sit there for very long.
No.
Yeah, that kid is, wow, he is stupid fast, as you like to put it. Late models, I'll speed up a little bit because now I'm taking up all the time. Late models, Josh Most sitting in ninth, sitting in third place, 9 points out. Jason Haney is sitting 5 points out in second place, and Al Zeitner out of Bellevue, a guy I believe frequents at I-80 and over at Eagle Raceway, is sitting in first place. So for your modifieds, Craig Reach in third place. This is an extremely tight battle. 3 points out of the lead. In second place, Matt Bonney out of Ottawa. He is 1 point behind the leader, and Nick Deal. Bodine, excuse me. And then Nick Deal out of the is your points leader right now. Currently, 10 cars are within 10 points of the leader for that modified division. So tight race there.
I want to put Scott Carlson on the spot right here. You got Most, Bonine, Reitz, and Deal. Out of them 4 guys in the A-Mods over 13 shows, who do you pick to win the Crawford County Championship in the A-Mods this year?
Well, if he shows up every week, I'd be hard-pressed to pick somebody against Nick Deal.
Our last and final track, the place I get to end up going to every single Saturday, sometimes happy, sometimes not when I get home. The 4-cylinder class, Richard Crow is third, Ed Huxell second, and Steve Mook is leading the points. All 3 of those guys each have shared a win this year, and it's pretty tight. In the B-Mods, third's Rocky Zimmerman, picking up a huge win 2 weeks ago. Brent Kasich and then Tony Roast out of Utica, Nebraska. All 3 of those guys have been close, and actually, just like at Crawford County, the top, I think, 8 or 9 in points are all within 8 points from each other, so that is a really tight battle. The hobby stocks, Derek Konert, Travis Thielander, and Shane Snyder. These guys have only, I think, ran twice. They kind of switch off every other week. They've only ran twice, but they have a pretty close battle right now. The late model class, third is Jace Kaiser, who is your current Nebraska state leader right now. John Bridges is second, and Mark Peters is third. Mark Peters is having probably one of the best seasons he's ever had before, and he wasn't even going to race this year. So good for him to keep racing. And the final class is the A-Mods. Third is Scott Steischel out of David City. Stacy Stava, young lady out of Lincoln, Nebraska, second in points. And then Andy Wilkinson has been pretty dominant out there this year. He is leading the points over those guys by a pretty good margin.
Awesome. Where can people go to get those updates if they can't get to the specific tracks?
Well, for Eagle Raceway, they can go to eagleraceway.com.
A lot of the tracks are going to have this updated periodically. Is there one good site that keeps this stuff up to date?
I would suggest dirtdrivers.com.
Okay.
Dirt Drivers probably the best way to go. If not, just Google their home track.
That does it for us here on the front stretch. A big thank you to Scott Carlson for hanging around. Driver the number 1 S car. Catch him every Friday night or Saturday night?
Saturday night.
Every Saturday night at Shelby County Speedway in Harlan, Iowa, you can catch that 1S wheeling around the track. And best of luck to you this season. Like we said back in Turn 3, we appreciate you joining us, and hopefully your season turns around for you. If you guys ever want to get a hold of Bud, myself, or Andrew, just shoot us an email, frontstretch590@gmail.com. You can also become a fan of the show on Facebook. For all of us here at the Front Stretch, we really appreciate you joining us. We'll see you at the track.